Good morning, everyone. This is Guoxiang Zhang from UC Merced. I'm going to present our recent work, which is a joint work with YangQuan Chen and Holley Moyes. Cave sites often contain the best preserved materials in the archaeological record. In order to better preserve this material, we propose to build a SmartCaveDrone system that can function as robotic co-archaeologists. You will be able to map large caves and enter dangerous or hard-to-reach spaces. It will provide a faster, safer, and cleaner solution for archaeologists. More specifically, inside this work, we present an optimal cave reconstruction framework which emphasizes on closing surface loops. Here is more information on the problems we are trying to solve and the way we are solving it. On the bottom left, you can see a map which is manually created by our archaeologists. It includes information about the free space inside this cave and also some big stones inside cave and the wall of the cave and how it goes, and also artifacts and their locations, and also stalagmites and stalactites. Archaeologists run spatial analysis on this kind of map in order to understand how this cave was used before. On the right is our workflow. We fly quadricopters inside caves and carrying onboard sensors, onboard computers, and also we run with the sensor data we get. We run SLAM systems for stabilization and also navigation. And we also want to utilize computing resources from our off-board units, so like GPUs, in order to better reconstruct the 3D models and to get accurate 2D maps. So this part, circled by red lines, is our focus today. So we started from 3D reconstruction module and then gradually improved the performance. And then right now we are getting a real-time SLAM system that is capable of reconstruct the 3D model for us. Many visual SLAM systems are related to our project. Here are some common approaches. So the first one is a sparse feature-based SLAM system. It is well developed, but not optimized for high-quality dense models because they only use image corners and then reconstruct a very sparse point cloud to represent our 3D world. And then dense surface-focused SLAM systems, they usually provide a good visual feedback, but most of their reconstructed models are not optimally reconstructed due to the fact they usually use deformation mechanisms or reintegration when they optimize their camera pose. There is a new research direction called Direct SLAM, which runs really fast on camera data, but it doesn't work well for our case because we have moving lights, and this kind of SLAM system, they rely on static lighting condition. And also there are offline systems that are capable of reconstruct the 3D models. They usually have a good reconstruction performance, but they are usually slow and do not scale well. So we tested existing SLAM systems on cave data, and then we observed some common failure cases which related to special difficulties in cave reconstruction. So on the bottom left, you can see how the cave really looks like. And then on the top, on the right, you see two images, and that's two failure cases. And those failure cases are due to high camera tracking error, which is on the top, and then mismatches due to poor performance of loop closure, which is on the bottom. On the bottom one, you can see it's very close to the real looking of the cave, but you see on the floor there are two separated branches, but they should be together with each other. In order to solve these problems, we propose a framework that can combine strength from both sparse and dense SLAM systems. On the right is a system diagram of our proposed framework. It has four main parts: tracking, dense model fusion, dense loop detection and verification, loop optimization and correction. The highlighted parts are the parts we created in order to build such a system. Tracking module of our proposed framework. We tested tracking module of different SLAM systems, and then we find the sparse feature-based tracking is very robust inside our dynamic lighting condition and inside the cave environment. It consists of feature tracking in the first stage, and then it tracks the current frame with the previous frame, and then you track local map to fine tune its post estimates. Dense model fusion. This part can provide 3D models for both visualization and processing. Each circle has a position, normal vector, color, radius, and confidence timestamps. Each model may have millions of circles, and they combine with each other to represent the model. A circle model has a sparse data structure compared with voxel grids because it only has data whenever there is a structure. It doesn't have to represent free space. It is easier to update a circle model than a model with volumetric representation. And also we fuse model into submaps for faster and better processing. Dense loop detection and verification parts. This is a major part of our work. It consists of three parts: loop proposal, loop detection, and loop verification. We will go through those three steps in detail in the following slides. Loop proposal part. This is where we find the potential loops. And let's take a look at the figure on the right. Here, let's imagine that that's a television and this is a chair, okay? And if this is a reconstructed model of a room, and you can tell that's a mismatch because this is not realistic and there is a big overlapping over here. And this is a heuristic what we are using. If there is an overlapping between different camera observation, and then there is a highly likely to be a loop. But sometimes users may scan the same place with multiple times. And then how do we differentiate these types of scan with loops? And then we are using a visibility graph. And for each camera observation, it will find all different points and then connect all the points it can visible and then connect the camera frames. And then if these two areas are connected through the visibility graph, and then we say that's not a loop. And if they are not connected, and then that means they should be connected. And then we propose that's a loop over here. Given many loop proposals, it is important to have a method to detect whether a loop proposal really is a loop or not. We propose to use global point cloud registration for that purpose, but most of the global point cloud registration methods are really slow, and in order to build a system that is capable of running in real time or close to real time, we need to accelerate these methods. And then we find that one of the best performing methods can be parallelized using GPU. It is ransack-based method, and then on the right is a block flowchart of this method. And the major reason it is parallelizable is during different iterations inside the loop, one hypothesis is not dependent on another one. So then we propose to use a parallelized version of the flowchart. And then we are able to improve the performance by implementing this method on GPU. The idea is simple, but the implementation is not straightforward because GPU has a very special programming model. Like the first problem is how to run fast nearest neighbor search. On a CPU, one would run KD tree search, but GPU cannot handle tree structure well because a wrap, all the threads inside the wrap need to do the same thing at the same time. And then we propose to use a 3D grid for nearest neighbor search. And then when during search, we can directly find the index of the target cell and then search the nearest cells and to see whether there is a point close to that cell. And then the second problem is how to use the correct configuration of the threads and blocks. And then we find if we use one hypothesis per thread block, we can get the best performance. And then the third one is how to accelerate random memory access pattern inside target point cloud. Because when we search from the source point cloud, we can iterate from one to another, but for the target point cloud, it's a random access pattern. In GPU, it's not the best case because the memory bandwidth is not fully utilized. And then instead, in order to improve the performance, we use CUDA 3D texture memory to accelerate the scattered random memory DRAM read. After implementing our parallelized point cloud registration method, we benchmarked our method on public datasets. And then we find our computational performance is greatly improved by around 400 times faster. And then our recall and precision are also improved a little as well. Even after loop detection methods, there are still many false positive loops. In order to filter these loops, we employ methods developed by Choi and his colleagues, which is line process-based optimization. The idea is to introduce another optimizable parameter inside here called L for each loop, and during the optimization process, this L is also optimized. If the L is very small, and then we will disable that loop. Interested user can refer to this paper for more details. Loop optimization and correction. After loop added, full bundle adjustment is performed in order to get optimally fine-tuned camera trajectory estimates. This is optimal because the camera observation will agree with each other in the optimal sense. Map correction by online survey updates. We update our survey model based on our camera trajectory updates, and then we move each survey based on the running average across different cameras, because each survey may be observed by multiple cameras, and then the movement of each survey is calculated by the average of the influence from each survey. Here are some results on the data we collected inside caves. You can see on the left, it's the result of our methods, and inside this area, this is a zoom in. You can see you can only see one color. That means there's only one copy of the same area. But inside over here, you can see there are two colors. That means that's the same area, but there are two copies. So that means there is a mismatch over here. And inside this one, there is a very big mismatch over here, and that's inside this area. Here are more results. You can see this is a result of RGB-D tracking, and it's not really good. And this part is steps only tracking. It kind of get the structure, but it's still not good. And then elastic fusion flow. This is with depth tracking and also with loop closure. You can still see this part. It actually should be over here. And or two slam tracking. This is tracking sparse feature only tracking. And you can see the gap over here. And this part is supposed to be together with that one. And the same one here, there's not that much difference between the tracking and the full part, because it was not able to connect to the loops over here. And here's our result. You can see the floor is all in one piece, and there is no obvious mismatch over here. Here, I would like to show you a demo of our system working on cave data. And you can see it is scanning through the cave, and then it will detect the mismatch, and then connect the loop, and also correct the past scanning. And then there is one more. Yeah, here it is. Conclusion. We conclude that the proposed 3D reconstruction framework is effective on cave data. And also sparse feature-based tracking is robust for steady tracking. And most importantly, it is effective and critical to close surface loops for cave mapping tasks. This is still an ongoing project, and here is a list of our future work. First of all, multimodal sensor fusion. Because we have IMU sensors on board, we want to take advantage of that. And also submaps merging. Right now, we get big parts of the whole model, but not a whole model for a whole cave. And we want to find a way to combine them into a single piece. And also object clouds. Right now, we get a piece of point cloud. We want to convert that into objects and then project that onto a 2D map. And then onboard free space calculation. That's we want to have a onboard navigation and also collision avoidance system. And also optimal 3D photogrammetry by optimal path planning. This is due to the energy constraint on our drone system. Thank you for your attention.